Hey, Dr. O here, and I want to chat about spinal nerves and the plexuses they form. At every level of the spine where two vertebrae meet, a nerve is going to branch off the spine to go supply some part of the body. This is how the body knows the brain wants it to move or to do some action. And we call this type of nerve a motor nerve or an efferent nerve. And these exit the spinal cord on the front or the ventral side of the cord. Now, at the same time and at the same level in the same space, nerves will return to the spine, bringing in information about some stimulus they experienced out of the body. These are sensory or afferent nerves, and these are going to enter the spinal cord from the back or the dorsal side. So let's take a look. So here we have the anterior part of the spine. Here's the spinal body, the body of the vertebral bone, and here's our spinal cord. And here we have nerve roots that are branching off anteriorly to create those motor or efferent branches. And then back here we have the dorsal branches that are returning information by way of the afferent or sensory nerves. So then what is a ramus? Well, it's going to be a branch of this nerve. And if we look, we can see there's all these little branches coming off of the spinal cord, and then they come together, and then they form a nerve that will leave at this particular level. So you see nerves that we think of, like out here, all of these nerves, they're actually made of many individual neurons, and these are going to exit and enter the spinal column in these bundles. When a nerve exits the spine and then crisscrosses, this is what forms the nerve plexus. So a plexus will be a nerve that is formed from branches of nerves from several different levels of the spine. So why is that a big deal? Because it means that the organ or the muscle that is supplied by that nerve will be innervated by more than one spinal nerve. So if ever there is damage to the nerve, there is a redundancy built in, and the muscle or the organ can still function. For example, in the neck, the branches of the spinal nerve come from levels C1 through 4, and these make up the cervical plexus. And this plexus mostly supplies sensation to the skin of the neck, the ear, the posterior head, and the shoulders. And branches from 3, 4, and 5 are going to join to form the phrenic nerve, which goes down to the diaphragm and ensures that we keep breathing. So let's think about this for a second. So some branches of C3 and C4 are going to supply sensation to the neck and the back of the head, while other branches are going to keep the diaphragm moving. So yeah, that is the beauty of a nerve plexus. So this is an image of the cervical plexus, and these, there we go, these are the branches of the spinal nerves here, C1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can see that as this merges, this will be emerging from the vertebral column, it's going to split. And we've got this segmental branch that's going to go do something, and then we've got this one that dipped down, branched off, and it's going to merge up with C2 and go do something. And then this C1 is going to wrap around and kind of merge and do some. It's crazy, all that's happening here. So you can see how they split and merge several times. Now let's look at the phrenic nerve. Here's the phrenic nerve right here. And if we look, we see that it has branches coming from 5, it has branches coming from 4, and it has branches coming from 3. And those 3 branches are contributing to comprise or make up the phrenic nerve, but we can also see these branches are coming together to do other things, like make the supraclavicular nerves or such. Now the brachial plexus is going to be formed by branches that come out at spinal levels C5 to T1. Sometimes C4 is included, sometimes T2 is included. Now this plexus is a little more complex in that its pattern will merge and form other structures several times. So it's going to, so all these nerves are going to come together and merge to first form what are called roots, and then it'll rearrange again and merge once more to form trunks, and then it'll rearrange, it basically divide and remerge to form divisions, and then these will divide and reunite to form cords. So let's take a look. So we have our roots coming off, C4, 5, 6, 7, and T1, and we can see that they are merging to form the 3 trunks, and then we have branches merging and coming together to form our divisions. We have a couple of anterior divisions and then a posterior division, and we can see that it's remerging and or merging and branching again to do all kinds of fun stuff. And we can even see the anterior is again merging and branching again to form the 3 cords. So kind of complex, but it gets the job done. Well, after looking at the brachial plexus, this lumbar looks pretty simple. And if we take a peek, we can see that it's going to be made up of roots L1, 2, 3, and 4. We show 5, but it's actually these 4. And part of 4 is going to contribute to the sacral plexus too. But if we look, we can see that it's going to branch, and then it's merging, and it's branching and merging, just like all the other ones. And if we take a look and see what it's providing function to, is forming the nerves that will supply the skin and the muscle of the abdomen and the thigh psoas muscle, which is in the pelvic region. And I guess the big one to emerge is the femoral nerve, which is going to innervate the quadriceps and the skin of the thigh, as well as the medial surface of the leg, which is the lower part below the knee. And then the obturator nerve, which passes through the obturator foramen to innervate basically some of the adductor muscles. And here we get to see how they exit and how they move down the body to supply the various regions. And now here we are at the last plexus, the sacral plexus. And this one is made from spinal nerves L4 to S4. And the nerves that will emerge from here are going to supply the pelvis, the buttocks, the thigh, and the leg. Now, the significant structure to arise from this plexus is going to be the sciatic nerve, this one right down here. And if we look at it, we can see this thing is huge because, you know, here's a branch, here's a branch, and here's a branch. But look at this thing. This is a monster of a nerve. And indeed it is. It's the thickest and the longest nerve in the body. How thick, you say? About the size of your thumb. All right, so here we are taking a look at the sacral plexus. It too is providing nerve function to the leg, but what do you notice about it and the difference that it is from the lumbar plexus? Well, it looks to me like it's providing a lot of innervation to the back part of the leg, whereas the lumbar plexus supplied a lot of innervation to the front part of the leg. That could certainly be the case. And I hope you enjoyed this little tour of the plexus and that you have a better understanding of what it is. Thanks for watching.